A train wreck just lit fire. The NFT and others are diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your mint coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web freezers and trees show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. While stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures grow.
Yo! All right, Mega GMs, guys. It is Wednesday, June 11th. Today's the freaking day. You know what? Today's not even the biggest day. Tomorrow's the biggest day. Today is like a little notch below a really... Fuck, it's a big day. Okay, it is. It is. Good morning, Drop King. Good morning. Good morning, Cats. Sweet Cats. Good morning, Biggie. Live just a minute or two early here because I want to get to quick market stuff before, the big event. Iris going live. Iris going live on the Virtuals platform. Live is in points commit. Start sending your points, start sending your virtual, start getting a feel for what our allocation is going to look like. To be totally honest, we probably won't get a great feel for it this morning. Probably not, right? Like it's probably, hours into the day, we'll start getting a feel. Tomorrow morning, I will say, I think we'll see a heavy commit early on today, maybe more than usual. Typically, you have a hot launch on virtuals and, there's some commits right away. We can see things get to 100% in 20 minutes or so. But what I'm thinking is, so normally what people are doing is wait until deeper, maybe like an hour before, 2 hours before, to do their commit, just to feel out what their allocation is. A lot of people have already decided they're going all in on this one. So there's no reason to wait. We might see a whole bunch of points allocated right away. And in fact, maybe this is a record breaker. If we think Iris is going to break every record, market cap, participation, oversubscription, well, we need to also think maybe it's going to break the record for fastest to get to 100%. So we'll check that out. Also, a really big thing we're waiting on here as part of the Iris launch, which is, guys, I think for an X account to be launched for Iris. So I'm kind of thinking once this timer hits 0 and we can start committing points, I kind of think they'll update this with an X account if they haven't already. And no, they haven't yet. So I'm watching out for that. I just want to see what that X account is, who it's following, right? Things like that. Yeah, no social links here. So I am looking forward to seeing that updated. Oh, I hope they hooked you up. I hope the points were nice, man. All right, what else? Andrew, good morning, man. Lubu, 63 points. Well, on the board at least, right? On the board. We'll do a quick review of points as well. Okay, we're live on Abstract. I don't know if we're live on X. I don't know if I fucked up the stream. I just want to check over there real quick because a minute ago, it is now. So like the way I have it set up on certain days when I have a guest on especially, you have to put in the start time, and if you're earlier, it's not going to show it. So, okay, we are live now. Do I want to retweet that? No, I just want to leave it. And then JWise, I'm not sure. Why isn't Swarm listed under Virtual's ecosystem on CoinGecko? I'm going to peek at that, or we'll reach out, but I assume it's because, because we launched on Virtuals, but it was before the Genesis stuff, right? It was during the Vader EAO stuff, so something to do with that. But we'll poke and find that out. That is interesting. Anyway, guys, come over here, subscribe. CryptoSlam over on YouTube. 5,000 from Vader, 11K from Virtuals from yapping. Dude, I hate the yapping, dude. I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. It's unbelievable. I hate it. It's not just that I hate writing. If I was annoyed by all the samey kind of tweets before, it's 100 times worse now. I appreciate Cat's tweets because they're like very like he's doing some numbers and stuff that you're not seeing it everywhere. I'm getting all these like AI replies or somebody at least pasting like my tweet into like ChatGPT and asking it to reply, and then they paste the answer. It's like this is not going to last long. It's not. Everyone's going to start getting muted here. And I don't know if I want to keep yapping. You have to, but I don't want to. I really don't like it. It's like I'm annoyed at myself for tweeting stuff and I'm annoyed at tweeting and tagging fucking Vader and virtuals. I don't like it. So I don't know how this plays out, but it's not good. Yeah. I guess there's a part of it too. And I don't know if this makes any sense, but if I'm going to try to really grow a brand and an audience and, for a show, and if I'm annoyed by the tweets, I gotta consider if I'm like alienating people who would want to tune in, but they're annoyed by seeing this shit. I'm not pushing it too far yet, right? So it's not bad, but I just don't know how far I want to go with it. It's the yapping it's a lot of work. You can put hours into a tweet. The points are worth it for now, but I did experiment yesterday with trading, and I only traded a few hundred dollars in volume, and I got my, not crazy number of points, but all-time high for daily active bonus. So, what's interesting? If reply guy stuff works, I'd almost rather that. I just don't want to see the main post be like generic nothing post. I can ignore the reply guy stuff. How are these guys getting all these points? You got 150,000 in Vader. 150,000 what? Vader tokens? Brian, maybe we'll do like a little deeper dive into point stuff. You got 150,000 Vader. Well, there's a few things. Okay, let me review my points real quick. I just want to show you what I got and what the game plan is. Again, I'm not like big on points. I'm happy to be over 100K finally, right? I was sitting at what? 10, 15K like a week or two ago. Points come really fast when you spend your points. Like they really do come quick. Spend your points, use your points, you grow them quick. I mean, yeah, like May 11th, I'm getting 200 points and 19 points. And then when yapping made the biggest difference. It really does. It does matter. Yapping matters the most. But the more I spend my points, the more points I'm getting. It's a really interesting little cycle or flywheel, if that's the right way to say it. Now yesterday, I think it's my high for daily active bonus. It's not a crazy number here, right? 1,200 is not crazy. But again, I took like $30 worth of virtual. So like 15, 16, 17 virtual. And I just traded in and out of a few coins. Guys, I think that's like not a bad strategy for farming points. And so like, for example, I might have traded, I did trade some Artstead. I traded some Sniper Search. I traded some Solace. I traded some Virgin. But all I did is I bought it. I gave it a few minutes to see if price goes up, right? And most of them actually up like a couple cents. And so in for $30, sell it all. Go to the next coin, in for $30, sell it all. Go to the next coin, in for 30, sell it all. So whatever. I'm hoping that all counts as volume, right? Each in and out is something like 60, $70 in volume. Do that a handful of times. But if you spend the whole day doing it, it might be worth doing. Consider that all that 30 by the end is nothing, right? Maybe you lost it all. But if you can get thousands of points, it might be worth it. It's stuff I'm playing with. I need to do that more and start experimenting. 30 is fine, dude. I mean, 30 is going to get you, maybe one virtual worth a token. And I'm like, dude, one virtual, I ran some numbers and I think these numbers are correct. Although they're going to change a bit as of today, right? But at this point, like 2.6 billion points in circulation. 375 million Iris tokens are about to go on sale, right? And I was counting like my points. That's like the baseline or benchmark. 100,000 points. If every single point in circulation is committed to this drop, and I commit 100,000 points, well, then I know what my allocation's going to be worth at different market caps. So in that scenario, all in, everybody's points go in and I go all my points. Then at 100 mil market cap, my allocation's worth $3,000, which is not bad because like if I'm going in at that level, guys, we're talking like $5 of virtual, maybe $6 in virtual token. Like I'm in for $6, turning it into 3,000. That's what that's going to look like. Okay, I do need to repost this. Sorry. Yeah, if I don't do this right, then like it doesn't really show up on people's feeds. Again, if everybody puts all their points in, then allocations like $3,000 for 100,000 points. It's gonna add up quick. Now, like either half the points or double the market cap, we're like double the value. We're then looking at like allocation that's worth $6,000. Again, if only half the points are committed and I commit my 100,000, or again, if everything's committed and the market cap goes to 200 mil, it's a $6,000 allocation for like, $5 to $10 buy-in. This is crazy numbers. Again, this is like, you could play with the numbers a bit, right? And then I started doing some other calculations, higher market cap, still all in though. And this, all it means is it could work out better. All in, every single point committed, I go all in. 200 mil market cap. Again, my allocation's worth 6,000 at a 400 mil market cap, which I think is doable. I do. Only 50% of the supplies in circulation for like 6 months. Something crazy like that. There's not going to be a lot of tokens. Picture this. 375 million tokens in pre-sale. The other 125 mil are in the liquidity pool. The guys getting in the pre-sale are not selling our coins. Most of us are not selling our coins because we don't want to go in jail. So like the supply that's really going to be out there. Look at Vader. 62% of the tokens are locked up. I mean, if we get to the point where 60% of the Iris tokens are locked up, all of a sudden we're talking about like 200 mil or so in circulation. That's counting the liquidity pool. It's not much. This token's got really, really, really silly potential here. All in points, everything. 400 mil market cap, $12,000. That's turning again about $10 into $12,000. 500 mil market cap, look, doable, maybe. Almost $16,000 bag. Crazy stuff. All right, Iris is live. Guys, we'll look at the market too. We got a lot to cover here, and we got a special guest. We got Delta Sauce coming on the show in about an hour here. If I go in right now, I think max allocation. Well, it'll show max. If you go in right now before anybody's committed, it's going to tell you a 566 virtual allocation. It's going to change. It's not right. Staking will boost your points. Yeah, the supply there will be a really interesting supply shock, wrong turn. It's gonna be just low float. It's gonna get really, really spicy, and that can really send this market cap. Can really send this thing. All right, commits are coming in. I want to see if this is going to be a record here, right? A record for how quickly this gets to 100%. It's going to happen pretty quick. It's going to happen really quick. So I'm probably comfortable going max, and then I've only got 5 virtual. I'm probably good going max and committing to 5, and I'm not going to get any higher. I don't think I'm going to get higher than a 5 virtual allocation here. I don't think so. Now, this is really important too, guys. Okay, you might get one more points drop before this ends tomorrow, right? We got our points about an hour or two ago from virtual. Right? You might have one more. Wow, this is going to fly. You might have one more points drop before this closes, which, look, waters you down even more probably, but hopefully you make enough points to keep up. But yes, you should be grinding today. Maybe do what I said, right? Maybe go farm. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to buy some virtual, and I'm just going to farm tokens. I want to try to do like $2,000 in farming. Like maybe I'm going to buy $500 worth of virtual and just in and out of tokens and take a hit, right? But I think I might do that and try to get a few thousand more points here. I mean, geez, if you got $500 in virtual, there's no reason to think you can't get like 10,000, 20,000 in volume. This is a record. This is going to hit 100 in like 3 minutes. That's the craziest thing. Jeez. Yeah, I'm watching. I think this is going to hit 100 in probably a moment. Here, let's refresh. Oh, wow. Jeez. Uh, okay, that is a record. Iris just became the fastest token to reach 100%. This is wild, guys. What are we looking at here? Boy, yeah, I'm like my head's spinning from this. Why are there two pools? Where do you see that? Top points committed so far is 1.8 mil. What do you mean two pools though? By the way, wild. Edge, are you in? Okay, so right now, if I go all in on points, I'm already down to 384. Look, this is going to be. We've got 400 participants. We're going to have, guys, we're going to have like 15,000, 16,000. We might have 20,000 participants. Oh, I know why. I know why. Well, hang on. Check all Genesis launches. Okay, hang on. All. Iris Virgin. Oh. Oh, this is I don't know. This is probably a scam. Let's see though. This is a scam, I'm assuming. What I was wondering real quick is if they had to set up a separate one for the claim because the claim is going to be on ETH, right? The commit is on base. The claim is going to be on ETH. So just wondering if they had to do a little something interesting there. This is probably a scam. Ed, if you're watching, dude, I appreciate that tweet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. And the virtual site is getting hammered, guys. We've seen it struggle to handle volume before. Yeah, what is that? Iris Virgin. Community Iris Virgin meme on. Okay, and it's an Iris meme coin. This is bullshit. I would just avoid it. It's 62% though, man. That may get to 100. It looks like it would. This number hasn't gone up. I have a feeling it's a site issue, like a cache issue. Yeah, it looks like a scam though. And maybe it works. You know, there's room for more meme coins over here. What's up, enthusiast? Yeah, dude, I want Pengu as well, dude. I really do. I really do. Yeah, wow. So, wild. Okay. We'll peek at this again in just a few minutes. I do want to review the board here and like what's coming up. It's like, without committing points yet, got to think, where are we committing points? Is it all in on Iris? I mean, AppDuck is still live. I mean, come on. If I go over to AppDuck, which I actually think is an interesting play, I might. Well, let's run some numbers. Let me get my calculator ready. If I get full allocation here, which I doubt I could, but if I can get full allocation for the same points, and if this hits like a 5 mil market cap, like money-wise, value-wise, it might work out better. Wow, top pledge is 10 mil. This is that all-in play. You have to. If you got those points, you have to. It's so worth it. Again, if you're doing all-in, we're gonna factor again that virtual is worth $2. It's not. But all in on this is about $1,100, right? $1,100. That, I mean, if this hits 100 mil market cap, you've turned 1,100 into 566,000. You have to go all in. If you have the ability to get max allocation, you have to do it. $500,000 is what those top allocation dudes are going to get. Now, something like AppDuck, I can get max allocation for this. And so let's take the same numbers, right? If I'm in for $1,100 and this gets to a 3 mil market cap, that's a 15x. Guys, that would be then turning my $1,000 into 16,000. You know what I mean? Like there's some really interesting plays out here. If AppDuck gets to 5 mil, it's a $16,000 play. You got to consider some of these other things. You might be able to type in whatever you want, Biggie. It's not going to allocate you any more than 566, right? And yes, there's about to be some of the big point gainers that are going to go on cooldown because they will be selling. There's going to be a great opportunity after this launches to get in, right? Get in and, token dumps, go get in and buy some. But again, I can get max allocation on AppDuck. This hits a 5 mil market cap. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Did I do 3 mil market cap, guys? 5, 10, 50. This hits a 3 mil market cap. I've turned my 1,000 into 16,000. This is a play. Iris Virgin is a meme coin. It's, kind of, I would say, on the scammy side. Same thing then is going to apply to Babysitter. Same thing. If you get the all-in allocation and it just goes to a few mil, you're looking at $10, $15, $20,000. Like the plays here are insane. In fact, it's probably safe to say you will outperform Iris on some of these other launches. So why this week is so spicy? Yeah, the timeline's going to be full of Iris gains. People making some great money. And the story with Iris will be more like I turned $2 into 5,000. That's unheard of, right? But AppDuck and Babysitter and some of the other ones this week have the chance to be like I turned 1,000 into 15,000. We will see a range of stories on the timeline, but no matter what, all eyes on virtuals this week. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Have any of you committed yet, by the way? By the way, Nemesis, another really good one. This one's really, really good. It looks like I could get, and this ends in 2 hours. As of right now, I can get a 300 virtual allocation, so about $500. This gets to 3 mil. Let's see. 500 times, if this gets to a 3 mil market cap, guys, it's turning $500 into 7,500. I might outperform, and there's a good chance I outperform Iris. It's a really good chance. So Iris isn't the best play necessarily. I lean towards maybe it's not. But the interesting part of Iris, again, is the tokens that are locked up, the potential for airdrops. And I just don't think I want to risk not going hard on Iris. Got to consider this too. Again, I'm going to make an argument for both sides, but I'm going to consider that Iris, if I go all in on points, because I'm getting a smaller allocation, my grind to make back up the points that I put in might be slower than if I'm all in on AppDuck and, and again, Babysitter, whatever. Because I'm getting more tokens and because it might be worth more, I might actually get points back way faster. Right? So there's so many factors here. So let me hear from you guys. Your plays. Are you? Yeah, it's just, yep. Yeah. Yikes, dude. See, now I hope they blow that one away. I hope they blow this one away and refund anybody points. This one's scammy. Yeah, I mean, it might not be a bad play to split up your points. 20% to AppDuck, 20% to Nemesis, maybe 10% to Babysitter, 50% to Iris, right? I think there's a lot of good ways to play this, and that's why I want to hold off a little bit. So right now already, if I go all in at points, I'm down to 88 virtual worth of Iris. It's good. It's good. I'm still just tempted to still do all in no matter what. Again, if I can turn $10 into 3,000, it's, what I'm trying to consider more is, like I was just saying, how quickly do I get points back? And I think going all in on Iris is the slowest way to get all your points back. It might actually handicap you for a few days. Yeah, Hoods, go for it, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Okay, if I have 100,000 points, I might put like 5,000 points to AppDuck, 5,000 points to Nemesis, right? Just to get those bonuses, to get the points still flowing. In fact, I might just do that now, just to get, because if I do it, look, here's we'll watch it play out on Iris. The difference of me going from, 109,000 85 virtual worth, right? What if I just do 100,000? Okay, hang on. Okay, 77 virtual versus 86. So it's a few less virtual worth, a few bucks less. But the higher this thing goes, the less of a difference it's going to make. So I do think I'm going to do something like that. I think again, like 5,000 to AppDuck, 5,000 to. In fact, let me see here. What is 5,000 AppDuck going to get me? 5,000 AppDuck is going to get me 28 virtual worth as of right now. That's really interesting. Actually like Senpai too. And they should be coming on the show. It'll be too late. It'll be after the commit period ends, but I do want them on the show. By the way, Friday might be potentially our biggest guest yet. Let me check my email, see if I've got a confirmation on that. Friday might be our biggest guest by a mile. It's a big one. Some of you know who that might be. Been working that for a little while. Babysitter delayed their launch by 2 days. I like it. I don't think they needed to. I think that fucked with some people's game plans a bit. And it's fine. The team's excellent. I think fine. Important thing is where you get more daily active bonus points for fewer tokens. Or more value, or more tokens with less value. Yeah, Iris is going to be the Iris is going to be interesting. It's going to be less value point wise, and it might be less value, gains wise too. It's tricky. Now, all of that changes if we go back to like the point calculation. A lot of that changes if this hits a 200 mil market cap. I do think it can. I think there's a good chance of that. Because again, then your few bucks in is, $6,000. AppDuck is interesting. Yeah, I mean, look at it like your business advisor. AppDuck has got some. AppDuck's got a use case. It's pretty cool. Boy, oh boy. I mean, decisions. And luckily we have time, at least an hour and a half or so for AppDuck. About the same for Nemesis. I do think it's worth doing this, guys. Again, a few thousand points to these two is not going to hurt your Iris allocation much. And then we got Stratos coming still too, and that one should do really well. Oh, now this goes live in 45 minutes. Again, you get full allocation of this, and it goes to like 5 mil. And I want to run that with higher numbers here. 1,100 times, that would be a 25x. Okay, guys, this is where it's interesting. If you get max allocation to Stratos, and this goes to 5 mil, guys, man, that is turning your like $1,100 buy-in into like $27,000. Right? Stratos might be the best play of them all. I'm not sure if Baby's going to 5 mil. I'm not sure if AppDuck's going to 5 mil. I'm not sure if Nemesis is going to 5 mil. Stratos has a chance to get to 5 mil. And that's a $27,000 play if so. What do, man? What the fuck? Oh, dude, there's no wrong way to play it. Look, when you're talking about this is all like, these are all wins, there's no wrong play. There's like, do you get lucky and max out your gains? Little skill involved too. 27 sounds nice. Again, that scenario is you get max allocation to Stratos because nobody's talking about it. Way under the radar. I know there's some big money that's not deep in the virtuals ecosystem who is looking at this. There's like a different kind of investor in this one. This is a very serious token. This is not being talked about a ton. And this could be a $5 million token. Again, if so, and you get max allocation, you're looking at a bag worth $27,000. You're probably not getting that on the Iris. Let me think here. For Iris, for you to get that kind of gain on Iris, you're going to need at a 100 mil market cap. Yeah, you're going to need like 400,000 points. Maybe even 500,000. You'll need about 500,000 points to get that kind of gain on Iris at a 100 mil market cap. Again, higher than it's, less points will get you there, right? But You get what I'm saying? Um, yeah, not surprised. There's a lot of same names, copycat stuff, and whatever. Unless it's the same dude, same project, and just relaunching a token. That I'm not sure, but yeah, this is pretty spicy. Yeah, let me peek at this. Yeah, I am interested in getting this guy on to chat. Maybe today, if he's available today, maybe I can get him on. You know what? Peek at. I need to peek at Iris again. I just want to see if that X account goes live. Just would be interesting to see, right? And still nothing. Still no X account. Almost 400%. This is going to be silly though. 1,500 participants. I have a feeling that's lagged. Got people that are hunting the CA as well, which makes sense. It's going to be really hard to track these down. I've tried, and I know there are people who try to catch these. Right, you only get the contract address for the token once TGE happens, which will be tomorrow. Right, about this time tomorrow, TG goes live, and people will be hunting for that CA. I think they're going to throw out some dummy contracts to throw people off. I think. I'm not sure. Just guessing. Okay, so right now we're looking at most a 70 virtual allocation. Again, I think at most I think I'll get 7 virtual worth, which is not bad. Let's say I'm gonna I keep changing numbers a little bit. Let's say that's $13. $13, 100 mil market cap. That's $13 into 6,500. AppDuck might be a better play. Stratos might be a better play. So yeah, okay. I need to start really considering now mixing it. Like I said before, heavy with Iris. Maybe it's like 80% Iris, and then 5% Stratos, 5% AppDuck, 5% Nemesis, 5% Baby. By the way, by the time Baby hits, it's a whole nother day or two of points. 2 days of points. And so you might have a whole bunch of points to throw at Baby. That could get interesting. Actually, same with Stratos too. Let me double check that. You definitely get another day of points there. Okay, and so I think, yeah, you have 5 days till Stratos. So okay, so that prediction goes out the window. Actually, that $27,000 scenario, 4 days of points means people are going to be loaded back up. So that's probably not going to play out. Those opportunities then are the stuff that are live today. Again, it's AppDuck and it's Nemesis. Baby to a degree too. We'll see. But yeah, I think this might be the 5% here, 5% here on Nemesis, maybe 10% on Baby. Right? And then 80% on Iris. Sorry guys. Trying to work out a little deal here. Okay. Yeah, let me get more of your guys' thoughts, your predictions. I would love to know how you guys are playing it. Think it's worth 63 points and 5 virtual on yes, Lubu, I do. I think your best play is doing exactly that. Yep. When I had 60 something points or even 10 points or whatever, right, spend them. Spend them, spend them, spend them. Get in something. AppDuck is the most bang for your buck right now. I think so. I think you do all in on AppDuck. In fact, maybe it's all in there, and I would say actually buy yourself a couple, like another 1 or 2 virtual after, and then buy the token once TG happens, and then trade that, right? Whatever you get from pre-sale, go stake it. But if you go buy another virtual or 2 worth of the AppDuck token, it's going to get you points for trading. I think that's the way to go, though, Lubu. I think that's your play. Man, what a moment. Hey, the moment we've been planning for. I mean it. We've been planning for exactly this scenario. Multiple great drops. Points going to be spread very thin. Again, best opportunities now. I think it's safe to say this. Best opportunities right now are these other ones. AppDuck, Nemesis. You're going to get way more tokens. You're going to get much higher returns on this stuff. Those are the real... Those are going to be the real money-making plays. All right. Trying to work out to get the Stratos or the Ithaca guys on this stream. I'd love to chat with them. Okay. Babysitter on the show tomorrow. Heads up about that, okay? So Babysitter makes their return, their second time on the show, which will be awesome. So tomorrow, Babysitter. Again, Senpai, I maybe do a special stream this afternoon with them if they're available, but chatting with the founder. So we should be able to get him on. I do want to get AppDuck. I'd like to get people even after TGE. Let's hear what they're doing. So yes, Babysitter tomorrow. Friday, I'm reserving for that big time one, man. Friday might be the biggest one yet. Like in a big way. I'm excited for that one. Actually, if I can just say that one, right? If it's going to happen eventually. I'm hoping it's Friday, but that one's going to be Doodles. That one's getting the Doodles on to talk about DreamNet. We've been chatting for a while. It's just getting the date locked in. And I'm hoping it's Friday. So that'll be the coolest thing, man. I'm fascinated by by what they're cooking. Like I really am. Grivier, dude, it's great to see you, man. And Dead, great to see you, dude. It's like my bros are all here now. All right, let's see. Okay. This is really fun. There's a lot of people asking questions. There's a lot of people who are newer to this ecosystem and feeling it out. It's what we've been, wanting for, hoping for. Man, the kind of event that this is, I really think this is the start of a few more cycles of this. I think we'll have some more big splashy plays come out too, right? Like Iris wasn't on our radar. It completely like cannonball in the middle of this pool, right? We'll have another one of those. In fact, we'll probably have another 2 or 3 of those. In fact, guys, there was a really interesting tweet from Ethermage yesterday. Let me hop on his account because they're really cooking. By the way, guys, I'm on exit Hudah_idiot in case you didn't know. Ethermage, again, really cool tweet teasing what they got coming up. These guys are really, man, they are really cooking something. They are really cooking. They have, let me see here. They have more coming. I think I can probably just say that. They've got some really, really big stuff coming here. You know what? Was his tweet a reply or... Boy, let me see here. It was spicy. Like, it was definitely like... Yeah, it's this one right here. Hang on. What is the age of that? Okay, this is going back a bit. But this is definitely foreshadowing some stuff, right? No, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. But DeFi is Man, DeFi is about to change. If this works, by this, if these AI tools are really trading well, out trading humans, or look, they don't even have to out trade humans if they keep up with humans, but they can do it 24/7. It's a different game. Yeah, you know what? It's probably in bookmarks. I think it was somebody took a screenshot of some Ethermage tweets, and they were great. By the way, here's Delta Sauce. He'll be on in about 30 minutes. Guy's freaking awesome. Everything empty saying max staking virtual is the alpha. He's right. Part of my play here needs to be getting a big old bag of virtual and just staking it. I do think that's going to be one of the most rewarding things you can do here. China-US trade deal framework. Good. Is this... there's a bull post about game. Yeah, there's another tweet I'm missing here. But it's a really good one, like a really bullish tweet. Kind of on direction, like, you know, where virtuals is going. And yeah, I think they got some spicy stuff coming. By the way, we had a nice cryptic tease or tweet here about Swarm yesterday. Swarm Copilot. You may not have heard that term before. I think it's been dropped maybe once before. I will tell you a couple of guys are hands-on with it right now and testing, and it's kind of cool, dude. Kind of freaking cool. So at least the name is announced here. Bring smart money intelligence and behavioral signals into your browser. It's really cool. It's really cool. I've got it. In fact, I've probably messed up, and you might have seen it running. It's pretty damn cool. Not quite, Moon. Not quite. Stitch, it's good to see you, man. So many all in on Iris. Do you think you don't think there'll be a huge, so Grivier? No. Yes, some people are going to dump. The guys who are getting max allocation, they better dump. Those guys are good. Those guys are looking at a $500,000 payday. But everybody else, let's say I go all in and most of you guys go all in. If we sell for the next 10 days, we stop accumulating points. It means we're out of the game for the next 10 days, basically, because we went all in. So we don't have any points to fall back on. And so we've spent all our points in the next 10 days. We don't have any. That's 10 days if we don't get to trade virtuals. And then when we start again, it's the grind back up. Yeah, I think a lot of guys who are going all in on Iris are not selling. So that's something to keep in mind here. It won't look like a lot of people are thinking. The big guys, the guys with the biggest allocations are going to sell. They should. And the rest, a lot of us will not. And it makes sense to not. Okay, let's see how it's doing. And then I want to go look at Cookie. I want to look at CoinGecko. Just check out some of the day's news here. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw. I mean, Moonship, again, those guys that $1,000, some of these guys are going to turn $1,000 into $500,000. And that's not like if this happens, then this. That's going to happen. If it hits $100 million market cap, that's going to happen. So GG's to those guys. They better sell. Like, if you don't sell that, I don't know what you're doing. Or sell half of it, stake half, right? There's other ways to do it. Man, almost 500% oversubscribed. My 109,000 now down to 53 virtual. Again, by the end, I expect to get 5 virtual worth for this. So yeah, I'm going to hedge by getting into some of these other drops. Man. Oh, shit. I meant to look at top committed points. So yeah, top guys got 10 million points in. Below that, 2.7 mil, 2.6 mil. Can we see, let's say 10, let's say 15, 20. It's hard to tell, but we've got, easily 20 mil plus committed already. And remember, max commit is 2.6 billion points. That's how many points are out there now. I don't think we'll see the 2.6 all committed. I wonder if we'll see about 1.8 billion or so, like a little over half of all points committed. We'll see. Hey, good morning, man. Staked 100 a couple months ago. Still worth 100 and 270 points. Boom. It depends what you're staking, and I don't think staking is the best method. Moonship, there are a couple guys out there that do really good. They go digging, and there has been a problem with some bad actors here. Inorganically farming points. It's why staking became a thing. You didn't used to have to stake agents; you just held them. But guys would like move stuff around and kind of wash stuff through exchanges. And I do think a lot of these are team accounts, not necessarily virtuals teams, but like projects that are launching tokens. Some of those teams are making a fuck ton of points, or did before, and they're just getting so many points because they got so much token. It's tricky. Oh, beautiful. Okay, CPI came in lower. Good. Moonship, there is a problem there for sure. I don't know how big it is. It's enough that, it's like the top guys are outperforming everybody, and it's not even close. But yeah, this guy here, good or bad or whatever, this person here is about to get a $500,000 payday here for $1,000. That's exactly how that's going to play out. And now, you know what? 200 mil market cap. 200 mil market cap means he's then turned it into, $1 million. So, you know what? ETH season happened to fuck coin. I'm holding. I think, that one's. I don't want to look. I think I saw it at 5 mil, maybe 4 mil. I don't know. Solana memes are in trouble for right now. It's ETH season now. It's kind of a bummer. I mean, I'm wishing I got out a little. I wish I got out. I believe in it. I think it's a great meme. But at this point, I think I'm stuck holding that till meme coin season really comes back. It's ETH season. Okay, we have an hour and a half, and I'm just trying to think through time with Delta Sauce coming on. I need to buy some virtual to be able to play these. So let me think here. AppDuck at, let's say, 5,000 points. Yeah, I don't have 23 virtual, I don't believe. Yeah, I need to go buy some virtual. Again, something like that. And let's run those numbers. If I get, I'm going to do like $40 worth of AppDuck. And I'm going to go, let's play it like safe. Let's say it's a 2 mil market cap. I don't even know if that's safe. That might be like a pretty, that might even be a high end bet. But let's do $40 times 10. That's $400. Oh, hang on. Fuckcoin 7, almost. Okay, well. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It was much lower, and yeah. Good thing about Iris is that it's getting big players to spend their points. Yes, so you can start getting bigger allocations on Babysitter. Yeah, no, exactly, man. Babysitter looking spicy, and AppDuck looking spicy, and Nemesis looking spicy. All those looking spicy. Stratos, I think, is looking maybe the most interesting of the bunch. Only problem is it's 4 or 5 days off, and so people are going to be loaded back up with points. If Stratos was going today, I might say that's the one to do. That's the all-in play. Because then you're getting potentially max allocation. That's got 5 mil potential. And you're looking at then $1,000 into like 25, 27,000. That one was the big potentially splashy play. Okay. Quick look at cookie.fun. We got Delta Sauce here in 20 minutes. Agent market cap. Agent I use loosely here, by the way. 10.73 bill, up 1.72% in the past 24 hours. Solid. Pretty solid. We'll take it. Your top agents by market cap. Fartcoin. Still the king here. Ket, Turbo, Toshi, AI, XBT. On infrastructure, FET, virtual. AI16Z. I can't remember if I said this before, guys, but the Eliza OS and Shaw's account both suspended on X. Both suspended on X. Lubu, yes, I will explain that. It's a good idea. Cookie, AGT, and then on DeFi, it's Venice, Anon, Griffane, Olas, and Banker. BIOS will be much higher on that board at some point here. And then going by Mindshare, it's Virtual, top dog there, Fartcoin, Banker, Vader, Cookie. Vader is just crushing. Just crushing. Can you explain what happens once launch ends? How are points and virtuals distributed back? Yep. Yeah, let's do that. So you will not get points sent back to you, right? The amount of points you use. Thank you, Brian, dude. Appreciate that. And no, that's not a bad position, but it's going to change a lot. Like a lot. Like we're going to see this all go so much higher, right? 500% oversubscribed. This is going to get to like, let me think. Did Solace hit? Yeah, let me check Solace, because that was our record breaking, in every category, and I think that got like 7,000% oversubscribed. Oh, I'm sorry, no, only 2,500%. Okay, wow. Record was participants, right? So you're going to get watered down even further. So that's number one. It's still a good spot to be in. Okay, so what's going to happen here? And let's go to AppDuck. And this applies to anything, right? But let's go to AppDuck. Okay. So you've committed your points. Let's run this. 63 points. Okay, 63 points already. Even if you committed 5 virtual, 63 points will not get you 5 virtual worth, right? They're telling you suggested virtual to commit is 0.3. What they do is, right, all of the points that are committed, they take your amount and they say, well, what percent of all the points are your points? And so your percent of the points is going to be, probably pretty low. And so what they're saying is you should commit 0.3 virtual, because that's the amount of the pre-sale tokens you're going to be able to buy. 0.3 virtual worth. So they're saying, what is that? Like 50 cents worth. You're going to get about 50 cents worth of that token. So if you committed 5 virtual, well, they'll spend 0.3 of your virtual and they're going to refund you the rest, right? So you get 4.7 back. They'll send that back. Now all your points are gone. They don't refund points back, because again, the points have to be there to help calculate your percentage. And so what they're probably doing, we can figure out what the token supply is and how many are going to pre-sale, right? These are all, billion supply tokens, right? 375 million of those tokens are here for the pre-sale. Okay, so then what you do is, out of those 375 million, well, how many do you get? That's where you go do the points percentages, okay? You've got however many points committed. You have 0.00 whatever percent of all those points, so you're getting 0.00 whatever percent of those 375 million tokens. So that's how that works. It's like, it's not complicated. It's also confusing just because it's numbers, right? But that's how that works. So again, you will get your virtuals refunded back. They will spend whatever percent, of those tokens you get to buy. They will keep your points though. Dude, hang on. Brian, hang on. You're in Duck. Oh, I read that wrong. I thought 566 virtual. Okay. Wait, Brian, clarify this. 3,700 pledge. So hang on, is it 3,700 pledge, 566 virtual? I want to make sure I got this right, because that doesn't add up, and I think I'm just reading it wrong then. But to get 566 virtual, I think you're going to have to be like a lot more points. Like, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you have to be over 100,000 points to get full 566 virtual worth. I would guess like 150,000 maybe. Whoops. 150. Yeah, it won't let me go that high. 560. Okay, but if you pledge 3,700 points, assuming that out of your 566 virtual pledged, it's only going to spend 17 virtual worth. Right? So you'll get 17 virtual worth of the pre-sale tokens. and then it's going to refund you the difference. So, you're going to get like about 550 virtual sent back to you. That's how that works. They let you put it in here and just, put as much as possible just so you're covered no matter what. But yeah, usually go by the suggested thing. But you should get a decent allocation here. I think that's awesome. 17 virtual worth, and let's do some numbers here. Let's say it's $30. And I think AppDuck can hit a 3 mil market cap, right? So we're talking a 15x. Right, you're turning your $30 into 450, which is pretty good. Lubu, when do you get the refund back? Like, when do they kick it back? It's usually right around TGE. I'm not positive. I've not really watched when stuff hits my wallet again, but I assume it's basically right at TGE. Maybe shortly after, maybe even shortly before, but it should be pretty close. Boy, I've got to go get some virtual. I really do need to play these. This is now 566% over committed, 2,700 participants, well off our record participants. Like, well off. Again, we need another 10,000 people getting in, and they will. They'll get in. This is going to be record oversubscribed here. But yeah, other plays are these other tokens. Okay, I'm looking through my wallets now. Okay, looking through my wallets, I'm just looking for any spare virtuals anywhere or any ETH that I can go swap for some virtual, right? I need it because I need to get a little spendy here. Let's see. Where do I have something? Okay, we've got. Okay, well, all right, we've got. Okay, I've got about $37 in ETH on one wallet. That'll cover some virtual. Okay, let me get this situated because I do want to commit some points here. Jesus, I got so many crazy tokens sitting here in Polygon bridged ETH on base. It's stupid. Okay, here's some base ETH as well. Okay, so I've got some funds to work with. It's little bits, and that's all you need, which is amazing. Like, just so cool. Okay, let me get some of this sent around, and then we're going to go commit some points here. I'm going to ask Delta Sauce if he's into any of this stuff. I don't think he is, and I want him to be just because I want everybody doing this with us. It's just fun. But I don't think Delta Sauce is trading agents. And it's like, it's easy to forget. There's just guys here for so many reasons. It's like Moonship said, this is a bubble. There's so many other things to be doing. Delta Sauce is an artist. He's doing art and he's using AI. And like I like to be a little more comprehensive here, talking about, kind of all things AI. Hang on. I've got ETH staked on a wallet, and I have no idea why. I have no idea why on that one. Wish I could show you this, by the way, just to keep the screens moving. Okay. Let's go. Boom. Yeah, okay. We're going to send this off. Send ETH at 2,700, by the way. Really nice. We didn't look at crypto yet, did we? I probably need to do another stream today that's just going over the crypto market. I think that's probably going to need to happen here. Oh, geez. That is not base ETH, by the way. Darn, dude. So much bridging and stuff, right? Yeah, I've got to get some bridging done and some converting, and I'm not sure if I have any tokens to sell because I think some of them will, penalize me. Yeah, I think I'll get penalized a bit for, yeah, like, boy, what is this? Bridged WETH base. Just madness. Too many tokens, too much Yeah, too much everything. Okay. All right, let's do a quick peek in. Let's see how we're looking here. A refresh. Again, some more of your game plans I'd love to hear. Use OpenSea for swaps. Bridging is easy. Brian, good question. How are these people getting all these pledge points yapping? Let me show you. We'll look at my points for some examples. I had another good day of points. It wasn't my best. My best day was 2 days ago. 6,400 Vader points yesterday. 10,000 yapping points. So today, Vader points down a bit, 3,000. My tweets just got a little less engagement. Yapping points were a little higher though. So it's a little confusing. People are getting all these points from Vader's getting me a bunch. The Vader's get me almost 10,000 in the past 2 days. 10,000 of those tokens staked. I'm getting yap bonuses from them. I'm getting staking bonuses from them. But basically, man, you get your points from yapping. The biggest points come from yapping. After that, you get from trading. So today, 1,200 points for daily active bonus. I just did some swapping of tokens. I took 30 virtual and I just swapped in and out of like 4 tokens. Just buy it and a minute later sell it. And then go to another token, buy and sell. It's just farming. And that got me 1,200 points. I imagine if I picked that up, like 10x that, maybe 3,000, 5,000 volume in trading might get me, maybe 10 times the points. It's something I'm playing with here. Where's the screen in virtuals that shows all the things to do to get points? I'll show you that. Yeah, that should be actually right here. Yeah, right on your points page. So yapping, joining Genesis launches. So getting in the Genesis launches gets you points. Staking virtuals, staking Vader, stake recognized agents, trade virtual agents. There's a lot of ways, and we don't know what gets you the most, right? We just don't know. They kept that kind of secret. What's up, Q? Good to see you, man. Okay, I got to get some of this ETH over. I think I fucked myself a little here. So let's see. Oh, we got the fucking man here a little early, which is beautiful. Let's do it. Let's bring him up. Delta Sauce. Well, hang on. You can't hear me yet. Maybe you can. I'm going to bring him up. We'll see if he's good to go. And then one last peek here at my wallet. You know what? I'm going to get some of this money bridged over real quick. Okay. Bridge. Sorry, DS. 1 second. Getting some like degen shit ready. Bridge to base. ETH. Hang on. That doesn't seem right. ETH to base. Boom. Almost there. Almost ready. Insufficient funds. Come on, bruh. Almost ready. Need more gas. This is so silly, man. Okay, hang on. I hate bridging, man. Okay, here we go. Okay, just trying to get some ETH over to base. Go buy some more virtual. Oh, okay. Hey, Delta, do you want to come up? Are you good coming up? Like we can get in right now. Yeah. Okay. We do it casual here. Yeah, let's get you up. Let's chit chat. Boom, boom. Yo, buddy. It's great to see you, man.
What's up? What's up? It's early here in Texas, so how you doing?
Well, dude, great, especially like I don't know how dialed in you are to like even if you're not trading the virtual stuff, like the craze going on. Like have you been hearing about what's going on like in the agent world on virtuals?
To a certain degree, it's just It all comes down to timing. I just don't have time for this stuff. I wish I did because I know how much money you can potentially make from it. But again, I used to trade meme coins. I did before crypto. I did 8 years of trading options. So
Oh,
on the stock
damn.
market. So I love trading meme coins. But like again, it's just all comes down to time when it comes to this stuff.
What's kind of cool is like I'm going to throw you up on the screen here. What's kind of cool is a lot of this probably gets you back into it, but like saves you time. Like there's agents launching, actually one launching in like 3 days, 4 days. That's going to just autonomously do options trading for you. So it's like you buy tokens to get exposure or access to the platform, and then it just does it for you. That simple. It's pretty fun. It's wild, dude. It's I don't know. There's a lot of people who think, and I'm one of them, that this might be really disruptive for DeFi and for trading and all. So
Well, I don't think it's disruptive because it's openly available to anyone. It would be disruptive if it was only available to like BlackRock, which BlackRock has had this algorithmic trading for a while now. So
true.
they were always they always benefited off this. But now that it's easily accessible by anyone, I think it just equals the playing field.
That I love. Now that to me is what's disruptive in a way. It gives everybody access to tools that maybe they didn't have before. You know what I mean? And so maybe disruptive, not the perfect word, but I think it really like, man, things just are going to start getting really like accelerated, like the maybe the volume on chain and the type of gains. And we'll see. It's going to be this battle of algorithms here, which will be cool. Brian, so yes, you do get your 566 virtual back. When it goes live, cash out. Yeah, it's your pre-sale tokens. You're going to get put in timeout if you sell those. So we'll do the show tomorrow morning too, by the way, so we can talk strategy like right when TGE happens. So just be aware of that. And then Q. And by the way, we're going to get right to art. I want to focus on that a bit. And guys, at the end, we'll circle back to strategy here. Q not going to play Iris. What's the best other options? We were just reviewing those. The best other options, and I think they're spicy options, is AppDuck. Hang on, let me get on the right screens here live. AppDuck is really interesting. Look, you can go in here and still get max allocation if you got enough points, and that's turning $1,000 into like 10, 15,000, depending if you can get that allocation. Because I think AppDuck can go to 2 or 3 mil, right? So if you can get $1,000 worth and 15 exit, that's possible. Nemesis is a good play. Babysitter's coming up in 2 days is a good play. There's quite a few. So yeah, we'll stay on top of those here. And again, at the tail end of this, we'll chat with Delta Sauce, and then we'll wrap up at the end. Just some final plays. I do want to get Nemesis and AppDuck in an hour before they're over. So we'll do that. But dude, you've had a year. You've had a year, and you've got this new collection coming out, which is, dude, I had messaged you about it. By the way, guys, if you don't know Delta Sauce, I do want to have you give your background, but one of the like nicest guys I've met in this space in a long time, and a different dude. Like Delta Sauce, this man reaches out, and I think to like just his circle, the people that he's associated with, friends, all of it. Once or twice a week, I get a DM from Delta Sauce, and it's like this. It's a cool thing. It makes me like stop and slow down from whatever I'm doing, because it's just this, hey, how are you doing? What's new? Like, like this genuinely human check-in thing that nobody else does. There's not a single other person that messages me that stuff other than my wife, maybe. You're a different dude, and I just got to say I appreciate you. And just like the connection we've had since, well, the last time you were on, the first time I met you, really. But Delta Sauce is a special freaking guy. Where to start though, dude? Would you give everybody a background on who you are and what you do?
No, I want to say I appreciate you deeply for having me on this space and just giving me your time of day. It means the world to me. And I'm Delta Sauce. I've been in the space since 2021. I mainly started with photography, and then I moved over to AI art in 2021, and I've been here since. I've been a full-time artist now for 3 years officially, so it has been one heck of a journey.
So I remember you from a drop on Brain Drops. Was that your Genesis collection on the Brain Drops?
Yeah, yes. That was my Genesis collection for Brain Drops itself. I did another larger collection before that called Artificial Pathways, And for me, that was the collection that allowed me to quit my 9 to 5 to be a full-time artist.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. That's the dream. And we can get into this at some point maybe, but like I like watching people's journey. Actually, I have this fun little thing where I like to watch people who I think are under the radar, and you can tell when they're on that path to like greatness. You know what I mean? Like I see guys who are out there like influencers on the timeline. You know, they're starting their grind on tweeting and stuff, and you're like, oh, they got that little special something. I'm like, I'm watching them because I bet you in 6 months that account's got 10, 15, 20,000 followers. Like I can tell they're on that path to greatness. And I saw that with you probably later than a lot of people. Like it's only after I met you through Jared, J Squiggle. But I saw it then, dude, like very clearly. And where you're at now, no freaking surprise. And I think everybody's catching on to that now, dude, especially after the last series with on 8nap. This series you have coming up on Fellowship called Feed. I can't fucking wait for you to start breaking this down. It's gorgeous. And I'd message you. This speaks to me in a way a lot of other stuff maybe hasn't yet. Just in general, I actually think all you guys watching, I think this collection is going to resonate with all of you. I'm going to pull it up on the screen, and then let's talk about this drop called Feed on Fellowship, which is an awesome fucking platform, dude. How are these guys cooking when so many other art platforms it seemed like they're struggling, and you know, some of them even shutting down lately? Those guys cooking.
I will say this: Fellowship is amazing on the curatational side, and also Alejandro knows his art history. Alejandro is the main person behind Fellowship. And another thing, they promo hard. Like they promo harder than any of the other platforms that I've ever seen. They're pushing out content. They're making videos of my work. They're talking about my work, and they're going down these deep dives. And again, a lot of platforms aren't doing that. But also, you got to think Fellowship gets a larger cut because of those promos. But I don't mind. I don't mind at all because it just pushes my content out to a wider audience, and they actually care. So it's that balancing act. But I think that's why they're doing such a phenomenal job. I mean, before my drop, it was Grant Yoon, and Grant Yoon's collection did phenomenal, and it was like one of the best, drops I've ever seen from Fellowship.
They put out. I don't know how this works. I don't know if you've already have a collection in mind and then you kind of find the right platform for it, or if you like work with a platform and then you start building a collection after that. But for whatever reason, there seems to be great collections that show up on Fellowship over and over and over again. What is the order that happens in?
So I was pushing out new artwork for like the past 4 months now, and Alejandro was seeing it in the timeline because it was going viral so often, and he reached out to me, back in April, and he was like, "What's going on over here? This stuff's amazing." And then we ended up having a call, and he's like, let's do a drop on Fellowship. Let's create a collection around this new idea and this new aesthetic, and let's build that out. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Because at that moment, you know how fast AI art is, like when it comes to building out collections, especially when you have custom tooling, because I do a lot of custom models now. So for this collection, I started out with, we initially had 200 pieces that we curated down to 70.
The collection started before the Fellowship,
Yes.
kind of agreement. Okay, that's
Yes.
what I was curious, and started though, but like, were you still working on it through that whole, development of that relationship with them?
Yeah, I'm still making new pieces today.
Wow.
As an artist, I don't stop making art no matter what. I don't slow down for anything because like art to me is as natural as breathing. So I just want to do that every day, no matter what.
Cool. It's so cool. So this collection called Feed, tell us a bit about it, and then I'll share some of my thoughts about it too. And again, I think it's going to resonate with everybody. But and by the way, this was my first time actually last night, like scrolling through every output. And like I told you, I saw these outputs all on X before, or like a bunch of them, and they just hit me really, really hard. Scrolling through the whole collection is a whole different experience, and there's even more pieces that resonate. It is such a wonderful collection, and there's so many that, if the idea is that they make people feel like that's reliving a moment, nostalgia, so many of them hit exactly the way I think they're intended to. It's crazy, but yeah, tell us about Feed. Fuck, this collection is so cool, man.
No, thank you very much. And for me, this collection represents this idea of being addicted to the internet, just being online all the time and these feelings of like abandonment and nostalgia as well. And I just want to go down this deep rabbit hole of sort of this found footage kind of vibe and, connect back to my whole, you know, idea of nostalgia in a darker tone.
So I'm 44. I've lived online forever, right? So let me think here. Probably had my first computer in the like mid 90s. I'm trying to think if I would be like 14 or 13 or 15, but somewhere in that ballpark. And like I lived on it. Like this was me, from back then till right now, right? So, and especially like when like AOL chat rooms were born, and IRC and ICQ, like this is me. I grew up as that. And so even that image which I saw on the timeline, like feel that. I feel that deeply. And then going through the collection, we'll get to more of this, but the same thing. Guys, like you guys watching, how many of you like this is you as well? Dude, I'm curious. How old are you guys watching? You don't have to say, but I'm curious, like the age range here. I do think I got a more boomer audience, I think. And it might resonate a little more here too. Incredible. Now, dude, when I'm scrolling this though, some of these pieces didn't feel like, well, at least like the cover image. It's not necessarily somebody plugged into their computer and that trap or whatever it is that gets us like just so hooked in. There's these other things, something like Wanderers Here or Never Coming Home or I Am Lost. And by the way, they're all, you got that eye. You just have a different, you know what I mean? Like when I see work like this, I get it. I get how some people just, the lens is different. The way you're like interpreting, it's just different. You've got that artistic eye. So it's cool. But what do these pieces mean? As opposed to the ones that seem to have just computer in front of you and, being absorbed into these, into the digital.
For me, I wanted to do a range of emotions on sort of the darker side. Like for some of the pieces where it's, like if you wanted to scroll up real quick, like at the top row. But yeah, like Wait, for instance, is like a representation of me growing up without a dad because my dad left my life at such an early age. So it's just that sort of loneliness and abandonment you feel growing up without a parental person in your life. And for me, I wanted to kind of represent that darker side of nostalgia to a certain degree.
So the collection, then, it's not like the intention of it. What isn't all like, and I got this wrong, when I first looked at it, I thought the collection was all about going to be just this sucked into the digital stuff. It's much more than that.
Well, no, the reason why it's called Feed is because I wanted to replicate a digital timeline. I wanted to create a virtual feed of imagery. Like it's this sort of there's this little bit of randomness to it to a degree, but everything's like tied together in this aesthetic, and it's talking about darker topics. So it's not just about being addicted to computers. I mean, we see a smoking piece, a couple smoking pieces as well, because that was also part of my life. I was, a lot of my family members smoked, so I wanted to like represent that sort of addiction besides just being addicted to computers.
It is a dark collection, dude. It is like, this is a dark collection. Especially with, well, would you consider this darker than your collection on 8nap?
Yes, 8nap is more. Again, you have to look at nostalgia in different emotional ranges. For me, I think a lot of us look at nostalgia with these rose tinted glasses per se, but as you get older, those glasses start to break down and you start to see the world for what it really is, and you start to process your past experiences growing up in this world. I think, this is sort of the collection where my rose tinted glasses are finally breaking and we're exploring these concepts.
Beautiful, man. There's a couple pieces here, and I'm kind of curious. Well, okay, maybe I'll start this question or this path here. Was there a single output here as I'm assuming you're just like kind of experimenting and playing and testing, and all of a sudden you find that some magic formula and some kind of output that it just hits you, and you got to keep going down that path, right? If that's how it works. Like I know with a musician, there's all different ways songs are created. It can start with an idea. It could be very much by design, just different ways that a song, from birth to completion. Was one of these outputs that thing that came out and it came about and you're like, oh fuck, yeah, we're going this direction? Because there were a couple pieces you had tweeted that I think went really viral on the timeline because they stood out so much. And I wonder if there was something that stood out to you, but also that kind of birthed the rest of the collection.
So when I started, working on this early, like 6 months ago, actually, like Severance was the very first piece, the piece you just clicked on.
This here,
This was the initial piece that I started with, and then I saw it went viral, and I'm like, I think I have something here. So I started to explore down that avenue with that model, and I could tell you the next piece that came up, Wanderers, which is on the top of the list. Wanderers was the next one after Severance, and I started, experimenting more and going down this one line. So there's a little bit of a difference in stylization between Severance to Wanderers, but Wanderers was kind of like the next step after Severance that I ended up carrying through after, so it's that sort of iteration process when it comes to AI and just, building on top of each other.
And so, okay, well, a few questions. I'm curious when you talk about like, I think it's like training models to create, a collection. Is it different models for each collection? It's not just this one kind of tool set you go to when you build out your collections, or maybe it is. But what does that process look like? I just feel like I heard you say that you train a model for this collection here.
So this is actually this is my first model that I've trained and used to make artwork for a collection. This is my first time doing that.
So
I've made models in the past. I've been tinkering because I have another project coming up, hopefully by the end of the year, that's pretty big and massive, and I needed to learn how to train models so that I could accomplish what I wanted to do for this next project after this. But I went down this rabbit hole of like, curating, because as an AI artist, I save every output that I've ever generated since 2021. I literally have a server in my closet with 8 million images on it that I've generated over the last 4 years. So like I have this library of work to pull from, and a lot of for the training model for this one, a lot of the training set was based on my issues collection, my triisms trait from issues. And if you look at triism, you can see a little bit of that sort of granular feel. I can link you to I'll link you to it real quick. But yeah, you could see a little bit of the texturing behind triism embedded into this new collection with Fellowship. So I will get that up to you right now. Give me a sec.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
But yeah, like I said, this is my first time, making a collection and publishing it based on a custom model that I, ended up training.
Okay, hang on.
I got you. I got the link, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Got it. What does it mean to
Oh wait, okay. Wrong link. Sorry.
No, all good.
I got you.
Maybe that works though.
Just here. I got you there. That should work. But no, yeah. So like I said, this is the first public collection that I've used with the training model that I've built. So
what does it mean to build a model? Because I'm gonna be really honest. I have spent months now, like probably more than just a few, but like learning new terminology, getting into AI, using it, understanding. And I remember at the beginning, if somebody said something like that, training a model, I would feel like I'm supposed to know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
Okay, so yeah, no. So you could train LoRa's, which are based on automatic 1111, which I know I'm throwing out a lot of terminology, but like it, I'm trying to describe it as best I can.
It's awesome, dude. It's like early when we all got in crypto. There's so many terms, and there's a learning curve. You got to learn it, and you explaining it's going to help a ton of people.
So basically what you end up doing first off is you're getting a collection of artwork and you're curating it into basically a data set, a folder, and the AI is being trained off that imagery to be able to replicate what that style per se or that aesthetic that you're trying to go for. If you want to go to traits, it's in traits, by the way. It's in syndications. So that's why I was trying to link to you originally.
You know what? I think that link even did actually work. It just cut off the hyperlink part of it. Like here.
Okay, there, yeah. That's right. Yeah. So a lot of the data set that I built feed off of was based on this aesthetic, but I tweaked it per se. So I wanted that granular texture. I wanted that, that feel to the collection itself. So I wanted to be able to replicate that. So I used a large chunk of triism and just built and trained a model. So
interesting.
It's It's actually extremely simple to build a model. Like there are websites like Krea. Krea has model building baked into their website. It's a good starting AI program or website, and you could easily make a model there per se. You can upload like 50 images, and it builds an aesthetic based on those images.
Dude, wild. Like just like AI is so much deeper than just the big names we hear, right? ChatGPT and Grok and Gemini and there's so many tools that people use. I don't think people just know the options that you have out there. Are you able to speak on like all the tools like in your toolkit?
So yes, I can 100%. So I use a lot of automatic 1111 for my custom based stuff, which includes in painting, which allows me to go in, selectively edit sections of a piece of artwork and just tweak it and prompt into those sections. So you can go in and basically marquee an area out and just type in a prompt and just edit that one section of the artwork. So automatic 1111 lets you do that. There's Krea, which Krea does amazing, in my opinion, upscaling, but they also have that tool set where you can build models in. You can also go in and do prompting like, Midjourney. And there's Midjourney as well. Midjourney is absolutely amazing. It has in-painting tools based on the website. You can also train mood boards, which are sort of like training data sets, but they're more so you're not really training anything. You're just trying to copy an aesthetic. So mood boards are like the initial before you start training models, in my opinion. You look at mood boards and be like, okay, I can. It's very simplistic for mood boards, but and then there is Magnifique. Magnifique also does upscaling as well, and they have a couple other tools. And then you have the stuff like Sora and Luma, which do AI video, and then you have Photoshop with their in painting tool. They have Genfill. So when people ask what my process is, I can't really give them a definitive answer because I use everything.
Yep.
Like because like some projects I'll need Krea because I like Krea's, upscaling more than Magnifique and, and vice versa. So like I tend to just use whatever I can to finish a piece of artwork.
Dude, that's such an important piece of info too. And I've heard that from like guys who work in like the film industry and, do video editing. And then even me with writing, I was realizing, okay, like Gemini's better for doing this function. Maybe it's like giving it live links and having it search it and like kind of edit it down or give me like an overview. But then ChatGPT can turn it into like a summary and do other the professionals that are using these tools. It's not just one tool. It's like Delta's saying. It's like for this part of my process, it's here. I take that and then I move over to this thing to do then this function and you could have 20 different AI tools that are in the mix throughout the whole creative process. And again, I just don't know if people really know that. I think what happens is like I was early on, try to copy something and I can't get it. And I think I suck at AI, which I did suck at AI, I still do. But it's just knowing that there's so much more to it, I think helps people understand like what's that next level you have to get to. It's wild, dude.
You bring up a valid point. Like I use like ChatGPT, but I also use Gemini because they have different elements to them. They have different, things about them that are, I think Gemini is a lot better at writing than ChatGPT, in my opinion. But like someone can say ChatGPT is a lot better. So it just depends on what your goals are at the end of it and like what you're trying to accomplish.
That's it. Have you felt your career on this like upswing, like just this different kind of momentum that's happening?
So I love this question because like it's very deep and dear to me, and I think I need to be honest. Like I felt like I was stuck before this collection, before working with Fellowship. I felt that there's just a glass wall that I couldn't break through, and it annoyed me to no end. And I'm like, what do I need to do to get to that next level? And for me, that's always been a challenge in this space because like I just want to keep moving. Like I don't like to sit and languish after a drop. Like I like to look at, I like to look at the past drop and being like, what can I do next? Like, I'm not looking at the results of what's going to happen with Fellowship because I don't know what they are. But I'm looking at more so what can I do after? What is that after? Like, what do I do to take this next step and actually make it meaningful? And for me, that's always been important. So I feel like this collection is something new, and also it's a little bit of a risk I was worried about in the beginning because as artists we take risk all the time. So I took this risk. I jumped into this abyss of things, and it's working out. And I'm honestly very grateful. I'm very grateful, and I'm hopefully that this is the moment that breaks through that barrier that allows me to get to that next step in my career.
If you were to like, what's the one thing that's because I felt that momentum too. I just think you see it on the timeline and just how you've grown, and I think your art has grown too here too. But what is, maybe if you could attribute it to one single thing, is it like just that you've, I don't know, found a different kind of focus? You decide to just kind of, I don't know, try a new process. I wonder if there's just something, some kind of change that's gotten you that on this new path, on this, again, just on this ascent that I definitely see on.
I would say it was a combination. For me, the market's looking well for the art side, of the space, and I think that is kind of helping this sort of ball roll moment. What I would say. So, I would say it's a combination. It's this new aesthetic, this more mature talking point, in my opinion, that's really connected to people on this, deeper level, and just getting to hear the stories about why people like specific pieces, or being able to tell the story behind each piece that I think people are resonating with. And it's working with Fellowship. Fellowship already has this established platform. They have this established audience. And for me, getting to chat with this audience and being represented by Fellowship is a great honor. And, it's something I'm very grateful for. Alejandro does an amazing job. We have prints available as well, which is phenomenal. I love prints. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so like we have prints available, which we've sold like one or two prints of each one so far, which is amazing. So Fellowship has a very professional way of doing things, and I appreciate it because like I want to be taken seriously, and to be taken seriously, you have to operate on this professional level. So I'm just glad to be able to partner with them.
Yeah, so cool. All right, so then I have two questions. I probably have more, but if you could, let's go over the collection size and sale and date and mechanics, and then you mentioned physical prints. I'd love to hear about all of that.
No, definitely. This collection is 70 pieces. They're all one of ones. They're going to be at a point one reserve, and they're going to be starting at 1 p.m. EST on Tuesday, January 17th. And
Nice.
I'm excited for that. Like I said, we worked down from 200 pieces down to 70, and it was a challenge. Like we once we got to like the 70 range, I knew we couldn't cut anymore, because if you start cutting too much, you start ripping apart pieces of the narrative that I think were needed, like these anchor pieces. So for me, like 70 was just a perfect number. And as for the auction, it's going to be 24 hours. But if there's bid wars, you know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Like they could go for an extra 5 hours if people really want a specific piece. So, and then we're offering prints as well, 3 of which are available per each one before the auction. So if you feel that you're going to miss out on the auction, or you're going to get outbid, you can always just go buy a print. They're pretty big size.
That's cool.
The quality is amazing. Like I saw the test runs; they're absolutely amazing. And one of those prints will be available to the auction winners at cost of production. So it's going to be at a cheaper cost than just buying the prints. So,
Okay. Oh, that's cool, dude. Do you have any outputs that maybe got cut from the final collection, but that you felt were like worthy, and they still like you, like it maybe even bugs you that didn't make it?
There is pieces, but funny you mentioned that. I actually am working out some deals with collectors about specific pieces, because like I got reached out and by some collectors, and they're like, why didn't this piece make the cut? I love this piece. Like, how can I get a hold of this piece? So like I've been talking to collectors privately about specific pieces, because I want to make those available somehow, because I feel like there's a lot of good pieces that didn't make the cut, and they didn't make the cut because of different reasons. Like they didn't fit the narrative, they didn't fit the aesthetic, because like when you're looking at this collection, you're seeing a lot of blues, blacks, and some reds here and there, and it really is cohesive when it comes to the color palette side of it. So there's some pieces that just didn't make the cut because they didn't fit the color palette. They fit the narrative just fine. And then there's some pieces that were weaker on the narrative side. Screensaver is
Dude, that's so great, and it stands out from the rest, maybe even because of the palette.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I like how you bring that up. It is one of the odd childs in this collection, because like it just stands out because of it's more brighter in tonality. But I wanted to include it because everyone has seen that screensaver
Oh, yeah.
to some degree, and I wanted to turn it on its head, because if you could look at the collection as a whole, a lot of these are vertical aspects, and you want to know why they're vertical aspects. They're vertical aspects because the most predominant display in the planet is cell phones.
Ah, Interesting. Okay. But you never looked at this in that perspective back then,
No,
right?
so you flip it on its head, and I really that's why we kept it,
Oh
because
man.
it just turns it on its head when it comes to this. And the reason I picked this aspect ratio, and I don't really use this aspect ratio to be honest, like with the majority of my work, if you go back in my lineage, I don't really use 9 by 16s or 16 by 9s because I think it's a boring aspect ratio.
Mm.
But I decided to use it for this one because it fits the narrative of addiction. We all carry our phones around with us 24/7, it feels like. You leave your home without your phone, you panic. So like I wanted to
Yep.
sort of like embed that within the narrative of addiction. So like there are some landscapes in here which I wanted to add a little bit of rarity for those, and also because like we grew up with the most predominant screen was landscapes for computers. You're on a computer right now. I'm assuming it's in landscape form. So but yeah, I wanted to add that sort of like hidden narrative behind this body of work as well that I hope people like pick up on.
This is why I like chatting with you and creators. It's to hear like the thought process and the depth and just how much goes into this, how much thought goes into every little element. You get, whether it's the shape of the work itself, and then again the palette and the message and just all these things. But like again, when I started collecting art, I didn't understand that stuff at all, and I'm still learning the AI stuff. If I'm stronger anywhere for like understanding a type of art, generative art, but AI growing that, and I'm drawn to it, and I keep trying to learn more and more about it because I feel how it's well, it's still at the cutting edge too. Um, but hearing you explain this stuff really does help it click. It really does, for me, move the needle, like in my understanding of it. But what's your favorite aspect ratio, by the way? I'm really curious about this.
It's either 5 by 7 or 7 by 5. It just
5 by
depends.
7 or 7. Is that like a? Do you have that in here? Is
No,
that
I don't.
okay?
Yeah, I don't, but that's usually the aspect that
I'm
I typically go for. Or you want to know my favorite aspect of all
yes,
time that
yes,
I never produce because you need like an ultra wide screen to do it.
yeah.
14 by 3.
Oh my god, I can't even picture what that would look like.
It's long. It is a long piece of artwork, and that is my all-time favorite, but you need an ultra wide to actually be able
Oh,
to appreciate it.
that's so cool. That's so cool. I think I'm partial if this even applies, like, but I think 4 by 3, like the old, that's just like a square, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, it's almost a square. It's more
Yeah.
like I would say it's close to like an old photo, like the old photographs, aspect ratio. So
Yep. Yep. Something about that gets me, or even just the old square screens, we used to have on our computers and
oh, I missed
um
it, dude. I one of the reasons why I went down this aesthetic is because I bought old CRT TVs. I own- I own old CRT. They're in my garage right now.
oh, that's so
And
cool.
but because I built an installation in Marfa last year with old screens, so like I fell in love with like the artifacting that these screens provide. So I wanted to go down that rabbit hole, and I literally paid. You're gonna laugh at me. I paid $800 for a 12-inch CRT.
Wow, dude. And what did you do with it? Like,
So
yeah.
I took it to Marfa. I took it to Marfa. I took like 6 other TVs to Marfa as well. The biggest TV that I bought was like I think it was a 30-inch, and it weighs like 300 pounds because you know how old CRT TVs weigh,
Oh my god, yeah.
and it's front heavy. So like the screen side's heavy, and then it's just like awkward to carry. But like, yeah, I still have those in my garage. I don't know what to do with them, and I'm just trying to like play around with them a little bit more. Like maybe I should throw them into like the all-time high sale for this. Like, hey, if the all-time high sale gets a 200 pound CRT TV.
That'd be wild. That'd be really, really cool. There's guys I see in this space, especially years ago, like somebody like Max Capacity, and they just do all this cool like video glitch art, and it's just like wild what people do. But I've got a soft spot for those CRTs. Your installation, what did that look like, and like how did that come into play with this collection? Did it affect the aesthetic of it? Yeah, yeah. Where do we see that coming to life through this?
So it's mainly on the textural side of this collection. I wanted to sort of replicate the old the scan lines from CRT TVs, as well as like the dithering for old video games. I'm getting you the image for the installation that I built
Oh,
in
nice.
Marfa right now. But dude, it's like I love texture. I'm a big texture guy, and you cannot rep you. I love when people are able to replicate texture when it comes to, digital piece of artwork. I think, that's a very hard skill to acquire. And I just sent you the tweet, by the way, of the installation that I built in Marfa, which I absolutely love.
Dude.
But yeah, I wanted to replicate that texture because like I'm a texture guy. I love prints. I love physicals. It's the third image. But like these are all the images from Marfa.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, those are all the TVs we brought, and it was that one in the middle is like I think that one's the middle, like either 27 inches or 30 inches. That one weighs too much. Like, dude, like I had to carry that down a flight of stairs.
This bottom one?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. It hurts me thinking of what that's like carrying it. Like, yeah.
But yeah, but I just love the aesthetic. And funnily enough, all of these are like square aspect ratios because like back in the old days, that's the aspect ratio for TVs. It was
That
square.
was it.
Yep,
that was it, man.
And when you had these like wide screens, like the bottom one, you were quote unquote rich. You were the rich guy because you have these like.
I remember that. I think I might have owned that TV here too. God, that's like a trip down memory lane here. Marfa was when, by the way? Was that October?
No, I think it was August. Maybe August or September of last year. I know they moved it to October this year. So it's October this year, like
Okay.
October 14th to the 16th. I'm going again. I'm Texas based, so why would I not go?
There you go.
Know? So, but yeah, no, Marfa was like, I will have to say, Marfa was one of the best NFT/art events for the space, in my opinion.
Dude, everybody, I hear it from my buddies, especially somebody like Biggie Poppins. And,
Biggie, I love Biggie.
He's a great dude.
I met him in Marfa, and he is like a phenomenal human being.
He is.
He bought so many issues, and like he's just been a great guy, dude.
Yep.
Like, he is like one of the most real people you'll meet in the space.
One of my favorites. We used to do for about 6 months. We had a daily show together. And it was a blast. And here and there, we'll hop on each other's stuff. And he's a special dude, but he's into art. He's just into it. And he always tries to get me to go to Marfa. And one of these years, shit, maybe this year. I mean,
go this year. Like, I'm sure he'll have an extra room. Like, I'm staying with Jared this year. He rented out the same location again.
Nice.
So I'm kicking it with Jared. Jared's amazing, dude. Like,
he's so cool, dude. He really is. Yeah, he
just had his third kid.
That's right.
Like, and I'm like, and he's still doing spaces. I'm like, dude, don't you have like don't you just have a newborn? Like, what?
Yeah.
How are you doing all this?
No, some guys just can't. You can't turn it off, and you can't stop. And he's ambitious, and I'm not surprised he's still going as hard as he's going. But dude, there's so many good people in this space, right? There just is, which is awesome. And by the way, you like kind of where you mentioned at the beginning, Fellowship, and how they've been so great to work with. And I think you'd mentioned this promo video. This promo video is fucking awesome. This trailer they made for you.
No, definitely. Like, I am very grateful for, that opportunity. And like I said, they really push hard on the promotion side. And I think that's why they're operating at such a higher level than a lot of these other platforms. And again, I love all platforms. I don't want to, just some platforms just do it better than others, I feel. And those platforms can learn. They can learn from this experience, like in this quality of like promotion. So I think that is like the key takeaway, because as an artist, I want to get taken seriously. And especially as an AI artist, like I have not broken through the traditional art market, and I feel like there's a lot of it's untapped for a lot of AI artists, and I want to be able to break that sort of glass to break into that barrier. And I think using Fellowship and using this experience with them as sort of that stepping stone into the more traditional series side of things, I think is important.
They feel like the ones to help artists get there. I feel like Nice Aunties is kind of there now.
No, I would say, I have a top 5 artists that are, top 5 AI artists that have broken through that barrier into a more traditional setting, and Nice Aunties is there. Like, and I think it's just because of the high level of partnership she has with Fellowship. And she's amazing. I met her in Istanbul, and she is like down to earth, and she's just amazing to talk to. And I don't know if you saw her. I think she did she partnered with a makeup brand or something like that. Like,
wow.
Yeah. She posted about it the other day, and it was like, amazing.
I saw her physical installation. That was
absolutely wild. It was like this balloon thing, right?
It's I'm gonna pull it up, but
it's one word, I think.
Oh, good point. I gotta say, one of my absolute like so bizarre. Another one that you could see when she was heading on that trajectory that something changed. The same thing I'm feeling with you right now, and I have been for like a few weeks now. I felt it with her, and she definitely.
There it is, right there. That's what she. Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring that up. I'm like, that is freaking amazing. You know, like they were able to. I would replicate her, art into like a physical piece of artwork like that. I think it's
Yep.
absolutely stunning. And again, she's partnering with big brands. I think that's another step to sort of getting like a bigger acceptance into the more traditional art world is, partnering with these larger, more established brands. And I think, Fellowship was the gate to those opportunities. And
Yep.
again, I have nothing but good things to say about Fellowship. Like, and like this is it. Yeah, this is stunning. Like this is absolutely freaking stunning. And like,
it's magic. Like this is it's just magic. And I'll say this, guys, like there is a speculative side to this. I'm sorry if it's not fun, to hear people speak on your art, in that way.
Dude,
I don't know if you care.
The speculative side has to exist for the art world. I feel like I know a lot of artists don't like it, but again, it has to sort of exist because people are spending hard-earned money on your artwork. They want to support you and they want to see that value go up. And I completely understand that. And again, I also understand the artist side. I understand why artists feel that way. They feel like there's this pressure on them. But I think, when it comes to like collectors that buy your artwork and then speak about it, they are magnifying your artwork out into the world and they are, giving you potential opportunities. I feel like my biggest gripe sometimes, and I know it's not on the collector to do this. I know that if they want to just buy the art, they don't have to talk about it. But like when they go that extra mile to talk about the artwork, they are helping to make it a bigger thing, in my opinion. They are being this sort of loudspeaker for the artist because as an artist, there's only so much I can talk about. Like I can only get so loud in a room of people. Like, but when you have like 20 people also yelling about you,
Yep.
then it has this special effect. And I've talked about this. Like sometimes all you need is just one person to talk about your artwork.
Well, dude, and sometimes you're too close to your art to be able to, see certain things in a different light.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Like it's like me and with our projects, and I'm very critical of it, and I might not appreciate a thing that maybe other people not as close can appreciate, and I need them talking about it.
I will be honest with you. I need that pushback as an artist to grow. Like, I don't want to be in a room of people saying, "Oh, this is an amazing piece of artwork," or "Oh, this looks nice. This is great." I want someone to openly say, "This piece of artwork is crap," and I want to know why they think that, so that I can work through that and learn from it. Like, I just want,
Dude.
like I don't know. I grow off that. Like, I know some artists have trouble, accepting critiques or criticism. But like I don't want to be stuck in a room of people just saying this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how do you grow from that?
Yeah, you're a different dude. You're a different dude in a very good way, right?
Well, that's why I like working with people like Alejandro, because Alejandro, like, he's critical. Like I like that sort of like headbutting action. And there's only a couple of projects that I've worked on in the space where I've had that sort of action, and I've grown so much from them. Like, I've learned a lot from working with Fellowship and working on Feed that I'm going to take into that next collection, because I did get pushed back a little bit, and I love that. I absolutely thrive on that sort of like like that behavior. So for me, it was just like good. I told Alejandro, like, just be honest. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Just tell me like it is. I can handle it. I'm a grown adult. I have a thick skin, and you sort of have to have a thick skin as an artist to do this full time. You have to have that sort of like thick skin.
Well, especially putting yourself out there like this.
Well, yeah, no, I want to agree with that as well, because it's a balancing act. Us as artists, we're very emotional creatures. We're very in tune to our emotional states, but we also have to have a thick skin to protect ourselves and to protect that emotional state, and to not like lash out to any criticism or backlash. And I feel like it's this sort of balancing act that you have to have as an artist, especially when you're doing this full time. When you're doing this full time, it is a different beast in and of itself. It's just like, I honestly, to be fair, like, I'm glad I'm doing this full time, but I respect the people that are doing this, that have families,
Right,
and have jobs. Like, I know how it is on that side. I used to work a 9 to 5, and like I was pulling like literally 18-hour days to balance my 9 to 5 and doing art and just trying to get out there. And now that I just do art on its own, I'm still pulling 18 hours a day, but these 18 hours are stuff that I enjoy, you know? So it's a different ballgame. But I honestly have nothing but respect for people that are balancing like a healthy relationship and a 9 to 5 and potentially having kids with doing art. That's a dude, nothing but kudos to those people because I don't think I could handle that. Like I don't know how I'd handle that.
It's a grind. Everybody's got that grind and different kinds of grinds. I think you'd handle it. I think you would, but I'm glad you're able to do it like full throttle. Mostly just art right now. So, like, guys, on the speculative side, I will say this. Been saying for a few months now, art season it's here. It's still loading, I believe. Like I am feeling that there is some kind of very, very special part of NFT season to come, and art is going to play a very big role. In fact, I kind of lean towards this might be like an art cycle. And if I look at that, and I'm looking at this is Ethereum, by the way, right? I think these are minted on ETH.
Yeah, these are all Ethereum. Yeah.
I like to connect dots. I like to do these perfect storm scenarios. I've got AI art, which the AI meta is just, you guys know, that's what we're talking about here every day is AI. On Ethereum, in an art cycle, I just, and with an artist like Delta Sauce, who already has got the respect of this space and is just getting put on more people's radars. And again, like I said, this different kind of trajectory is on now. Look, again, if it's just for the speculative side, I think this is a phenomenal collection for just that. I happen to think if you end up looking at the collection, getting into the collection, you may fall in love with it at the same time too. So look, if I'm giving a tier ranking system like I would do to, like a Genesis agent launch, this to me is like a solid A tier, as in it's excellent. I think it's got everything there for you on the collectability side, maybe the speculative side, and it's fucking gorgeous. It is. This collection just really, really hits me, man. So, dude, amazing freaking job with this. I don't even know where you go from here, and it's too early to even start going there. I think,
dude,
I don't know where you go, dude.
I will say this: I already have things planned for later this year that I think are just that next step. Like I got opportunities coming up that I can't believe that are available to me. So like I'm gonna just take those opportunities and run with them. Again, I look at collections like this as like I know it's gonna do well. I know it's gonna resonate well with people. I know it's been resonating well with people. I just know that deep down, based on just the artwork, I'm very confident in the artwork that it's gonna be a phenomenal collection. It's more so where do you take it from there? Like where do you go next? Like I'm always looking to climb that next hill, and just keep going forward because like again, I say, for me, it's all gas, no brakes. Like I just want to keep going. And like, I want to, honestly, between you and me, I want to, go get into museums more. I want to get on the more traditional art side. I want to, go that sort of route as well, because I feel that out of the AI space that there are probably 5 to 6 AI artists that have been able to breach the traditional art side. It's hard. It is hard. I've been rejected by 60 galleries.
Wow.
60 because of its AI art and also because my track record is based on NFT sales. And you know how reception to NFTs are. So and especially AI. Like it's just like it's that double whammy combo of like, oh, you do NFTs, we're not interested. And then you tell them you do AI, we're definitely not interested.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like I hope to be able to breach that barrier at the right moment. And I feel like, after this, it might be the right moment. And I think, speaking on the art market side, because I know you just brought that up as well, I think you're right. I think the art market's heating up and I feel like a bull market's coming, but I don't want to be too optimistic about it. Like, because I've seen the bull traps. Like I've seen that kind of behavior where you think the market's going to take off and it's just like this month or 2 month kind of like hype up for sales and just the art market itself. And then it dies down for another 6 months. But like, I don't know. I'm looking at basing on matrix of secondary sales. Like I'm looking at secondary sales more than primary sales. I'm seeing movement.
You're feeling it. Yeah.
Yes, I'm feeling that movement more. So we're seeing a lot of primary sales, which is great. But I think once you start looking at it and looking at like how the sort of like art bull market happens, you're starting to see a lot of volume when it comes to secondary sales. And I think there's a lot more added value to that per se, like not directly to the artist, but like to the ecosystem itself. Like I literally like 2 weeks ago, I was looking at my metrics and I was doing like I had a 250% increase in secondary
Oh,
sales.
wow.
So like I look at my market. Like I'll be honest with you, as an artist, I look and watch my market like a hawk. I don't worry about other people's markets. I don't care if X copy sells a piece for $1 million. I'm like, I'm great, I'm glad, I'm happy because like I want to see the success of other artists in the space. I love to see that, but like again, it doesn't affect me. So I keep, track of my market. And I tell other artists, like, don't worry about the markets of others. Worry about your market. You can only control your market. You have influence over your market. You don't have influence on anyone else's market unless you're buying into that market or you're selling in that market. But like again, look at it at that because like as a full-time artist, you have to kind of wear that business hat. And I think people don't realize that. You either have to wear the business hat of being an artist or you have to hire someone to wear that hat for you.
Dude, you're a different dude. I think I said it before, and a special dude. I'm excited to ride with you though, and I'm grateful for you coming on here and sharing these thoughts. Like again, I don't think people hear enough from you guys, you creators, and the thought that goes into it and the emotions behind it all and the challenge of it. That's a big part of it too, dude, is the challenge of it all. So just gotta say thank you for coming and chatting and being open about it all. I'm curious if you have any final like words or thoughts or anything for the gang here. I'm going to put the collection back up on the screen so we've got dates in front of everybody. And I am going to throw a bid at one of these, I think, when this opens up next week. On the 17th, right?
Yeah, on the 17th, it starts at 1 p.m. EST and the point one reserves, which
Awesome.
I was asked if I wanted to do like pre-sales. I'm like, no pre-sales. This is open to everyone. I wanted to make it accessible and let the market decide what the value of each piece is. Like there's a little bit of risk on that side, but again, like being an artist is being, accepting the risk. Like
Right.
doing this full time is just accepting the risk of everything. And like I think that's a really good price. Some are going to sell on the higher end, some are going to sell on a bit on the lower end, and that's okay. I think giving people access to my art, especially one of ones at that level, I think is just it kind of resets market expectations as well. Grant Yoon did this, by the way. I don't know if you follow his work a lot, but
Yeah.
like Grant Yoon basically reset his one of one price scale because he started at these 0.1 reserves with Fellowship, and some of them got up pretty high. I think the lowest one was like probably 5 ETH. So like that's nothing to scoff about, but he kind of reset expectations from the last bull market because I think the last bull market kind of blew out the expectations of what the value of art is.
Yep.
Like you saw art sell for these high prices and the art's never able to get back to these high prices. So he sort of reset the market, and I think that's okay. So like I look at this as a sort of like a resetting my market to a degree expectation. And I'll let the market dictate like the prices. But again, this collection I'm really proud of, and it's been an honor to work with Fellowship. And prints are available to those who win the auctions at cost. I think that's another added value as well. And it's just going to be a phenomenal time next week. It's going to be a busy week ahead with a lot more spaces planned and more promo and stuff
Good for
like that.
you, dude. Yeah. Oh, you and I've seen you making the rounds too. I'll be tuning into some of your stuff next week as well. I just want to see lastly what time these kick off because I like to do like event. There it is, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that's next Tuesday, 1 p.m. I may fire up a stream just to cover live. Doesn't mean you have to pop in and out. Oh, I just like to show stuff. I like to have fun little events. So I may be. I might be live covering this.
If you pop up a stream, let me know. Like because I do have a space before the launch, but like I have a space like later that day, like at around 5 p.m. CST. But like I'll have time to hop on and chat. Like I would love to. Like I would absolutely love to.
That would be cool. You dude, again, between this time and last time, like I love the shit out of chatting with you, man. You're fun. And I think we got to catch up on movies at some point too. Once you get past your drops and stuff, there's been some good stuff.
Let me say one thing real quick because I literally watched it twice this past week. Sinners is phenomenal.
Oh my God. I just saw it this weekend.
Dude, it is the best. I have to say right now, it's the best film of 2025. I would say The Thunderbolts is number 2 spot. I love The Thunderbolts. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't, and I'm waiting for it to come to home, and I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I would say Sinners is just a masterpiece in cinematography. The music in the film was absolutely amazing as well. And again, I'm trying not to spoil it as much because I know people are going to go need to see it still. But again, it has been phenomenal. I watched Dune 2 as well.
Oh my God.
I like Dune. I like Dune 2 over Dune 1. I felt Dune 1 was too heavy on the exposition.
Yeah.
Like not enough action. not enough like sequences, and I felt like it was just too heavy on the storytelling and the
2 is
world building.
superior.
Yeah, 2 is superior. Like, I was worried that I wasn't gonna like 2 because I didn't like 1, but I ended up
Oh,
loving
okay.
2. So, like,
Yeah,
2 yeah, 2 was amazing as
2 is
well.
fucking wild. All right, here's the big question. We'll end here. Fantastic Four or Superman?
I am more of a Marvel fan, so Fantastic Four. I'm worried about Superman because I'm a little bit worried about the, DC when it
Mhm.
comes to their films lately. They've been really hit or miss, but, James Gunn is an amazing director. He did, the Guardians of the Galaxy, which he did a phenomenal job for. I just worry that this movie is gonna be too character heavy based on the trailers. I just feel like they have what? The Green Lantern, they have, what's his name again?
Um, um, um,
Terrific, Mr.
Mr.
Terrific,
Terrific.
yeah, and then a couple
Hot
others.
Girls in
Uh,
there, and,
and then Lex Luthor as well as the main villain, and
yeah, I
it
don't like
just
him, and I don't know what it is about him, but he's not clicking for me.
yeah,
But
but, like, I feel like this movie, the Superman's gonna be just too character heavy. Like, there's not gonna be enough time to explore this set of characters. It feels like Suicide Squad again.
mhm,
Like, they just
mhm.
throw a cast of, like, all of these, heavy hitting superheroes and they're just like, we don't know anything about them. Like, we don't get to know their personality, and I worry about that. But then I look at Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was able to manage that pretty well with that
Yeah,
cast. So, like,
yeah.
again, I'm not a big DC fan, but I am excited about Fantastic Four.
They both, yeah, looks great. I'm leaning towards Superman. I think I'm gonna love them both, and I'm more scared about Superman. But we'll catch. That's in like what 4 weeks, so we'll have to catch up on that here
Are
soon
they
too.
yeah, no, I think they're I'm wondering if they're dropping Superman and Fantastic Four in the same week. I
Dude,
think
they're
they
like a week away from each other. Absolutely. Yep.
yeah, because like oh, I have one more question then. Sorry, we're getting into movies, but,
I
like, I
love
have
it.
yeah, but, like, how are you feeling on Ironheart, the Disney Plus, series?
I stopped watching all the Disney Plus series because they just always felt like lesser. Like they just didn't entertain me the same way. So I have not seen it. I haven't even
I
seen the trailer.
Well, I look at those series as introductions to characters so they don't have to make a movie about them. They're not risking making this big budget movie about a character that potentially no one will care about.
Mhm.
So they're doing it on this like episodic nature where we're going to make a little series about Ironheart and then we're going to introduce her into the MCU. But I'm excited because they're introducing a big villain in this one.
Oh no way.
Mephisto. Yeah, Mephisto's going to be in this one.
Oh shit. Okay, that's cool. That's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's an Iron Man clone. She's an Iron Man clone." To a degree, but, like, when you saw the recent trailer, this is not spoilers. When you saw the recent trailer, she's has an Iron Man type suit, but she's integrating magic into it. Like, she's doing
Okay.
these summoning circles, and, like, it's this combination of, like, Doctor Strange and Iron Man combined together, and I think that's absolutely, you
Okay.
know
Now that's fun. And that's in the Disney Plus series?
Yes, that's gonna
Okay.
be dropping the same week, I think, as Fantastic Four, like, at the end of
Okay.
this month.
Damn.
So, like, it is, like and again, they're using this to introduce her into the MCU and for the new Avengers that they're trying to build up for Doomsday, which I'm excited for.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a big Marvel fan, so, like, I am excited. One more question. I know we're probably dragging this along too much, but, like,
No, this is great.
did you watch the new season of Andor?
Oh my god. Yes. Dude, I finished the season and I messaged my brother. I'm like, is it wrong to say that this is like the best Star Wars ever? Like, as in like an OT purist and not like in the like sequel trilogy? And like, I'm like, is this the best Star Wars ever? It's dude, what do you think about it?
So I think out of all of these Star Wars shows, I'm not a big Mandalorian fan. I couldn't really
I'm
get
with you.
into it, but like out of all of the shows, this one is the best one. And what I ended up doing was like at the season finale of Andor, I went and watched Rogue One, which I still consider Rogue One the best new Star Wars film, hands down. Like
Yep.
I'll argue with people time and time again. The new trilogy was absolute dog shit.
Yep.
Rogue One was the only good thing, and the Han Solo film was also bad. So like Rogue One was the gem out of all of those because it just sets up the story so well, and you get to know and fall in love with the characters, and you want them to win, and then you revel in their sacrifice, because it starts the whole Star Wars kind of story. Like it's that, and I love it, dude. Like watching Andor and then watching the movie right after, like it made the movie so much fucking better. Like it just elevated that movie to like just higher standard of storytelling.
I'm with you. Like, if you were to rank Andor, especially season 2, I think because it was so much better for me than season 1. But where do you put Andor in? I don't know, any kind of ranking or whatever.
What do you mean? Like with shows?
Well, no, not the individual episodes, but Andor is the complete thing. Where do you rate that? Is it as good as original trilogy or prequels?
I would say it is. I would say Rogue One and Andor are on par with the original trilogy. I'll just argue with that.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I don't know if you watched Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I thought that
Yes.
was a phenomenal film.
I liked it as well.
A series. I thought
Yep.
it felt like Goonies. It
Yes.
felt like magical. Like I absolutely love it. I hope they make it. I hope they make a new season or a new series with it. I think the characters were in it. I loved Jude Law. Jude Law was phenomenal in that.
Yep.
Like, his role was absolutely like he wasn't a Jedi, but he was force sensitive and he was like this pirate dude. Like again, absolutely phenomenal Star Wars storytelling. I hope they make more stuff like this. One thing that I'm hoping for, and I think we talked about this last time. I want a Star Wars horror. I want a horror movie or a horror series. Like I want this darker, like, and I don't think Disney's going to go there. Like
we heard they were going to.
Because like there is so much like lore that is dark. Like I don't know if you've read up on the extended universe, which is not canon anymore. They like decanonized that, which I freaking hate, dude, because like it added so much to like the Star Wars back lore. But like I would love to see a Star Wars horror film, like just like and I'll say this: how are you feeling about the new Alien TV show that they're making?
Don't know anything about it, which that's a problem. I probably should. I saw like reaction videos, but I didn't watch them. So I guess.
Yeah. We'll end on this because like I talk about movies and shows I think it's going to be phenomenal. I'm more of an Aliens fan than Predator.
Okay.
I love the Alien series. I haven't seen Romulus. I heard Romulus was good, but like I am excited for the show Alien Earth. I think it's going to be amazing, and I just think it's just going to add so much lore and backstory to like the Alien universe. So like definitely go watch the trailer. They released a full trailer, I think like a week or two ago. It's worth watching.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Fuck, there was one point. It was just about the horror thing. There was a leak of a Star Wars horror thing. Maybe it was something George Lucas was developing and they never ended up doing it. But there's been talk about that recently, which is interesting. So maybe we get it one day. Maybe.
I just don't think Disney's going to go there with that IP because like you're alienating like if you go past PG-13, you're alienating like a whole audience that is like they're trying to introduce this new audience to the Star Wars IP. So they don't want to really alienate them, but like I just feel like it would do numbers. I feel like it's a unique take on like the Star Wars universe. Like there's a thing called there's a virus in the Star Wars universe that's like turns like that they were developing that ended up turning like a whole Star Destroyer into like these zombies.
Damn.
Like if it's a comic book series that I absolutely love, and like they could do something with that because
we have to do exactly this more. Like it's nothing with the crypto stuff related. You and I need to get like a pop culture movie TV show kind of thing going here. Once we got time for that would be fantastic.
I am definitely down to talk, dude. Like
conspiracy theories. Do you do that? Do you dabble?
Yeah, Bigfoot's real. I think Bigfoot's real.
Fucking A. Dude, all the alien stuff lately has been great too. So yes,
no, definitely,
dude. Yes. All right, I'll say one final time, dude. What a treat to talk to you here. This the way I set this stream up, it's gonna cut the stream off in 4 minutes. So they gave us our hard cap here. But guys, I think gonna fire up the stream again just to review the virtuals board. So that's just a quick heads up. But Delta Sauce, man, again, thank you for your time. And thank you for opening up and sharing. And I can't wait to see this next week. And guys, I would definitely be looking. I'm going to drop you links in the chat right now. But again, thank you, man. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. And like I said, DMs are always open. So just message me if you ever want to do pop culture and let me know if you do a space next week during the launch, and I'll try to be there.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. We'll definitely be doing that. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Peace. Okay. Hell of a guy. He just did hell of a guy. I'm a fan of the Delta Sauce here. Okay. Before it cuts us off, by the way, guys, I don't know if anybody is even still here. I think you are, But a quick review of the board. It is going to kill our stream in about 3 minutes. And if you're still here and want, then we continue on. I'll just fire up a new stream here. So let me peek if people are actually around. But what I did here kind of behind the scenes, and I was just fighting with my MetaMask like crazy. Errors and errors, and I just assumed maybe it's all bogged down. But I put 5 virtual towards AppDuck. Actually, it might have been even a little more. I did 5,000 points to AppDuck. I did 5,000 points to Nemesis, and I got it in right in time. Like, again, my MetaMask was not working. So I'm down to 100,000 points. I'm going to grind some tweets today, hope to get some more points to commit for Iris tomorrow. But I think that's the game. It's the 5%, 5%, 90% at this point for Iris. Iris now at what? That's the fake one. Hang on. Iris now at 9. Oh my God, 900% oversubscribed. We go in max points on this, and I'm down to 18 virtual worth. This is wild. 18 virtual worth. If it stays at today's number, 18 times 2. So we're about $36 times 500. Not going to happen, I don't think. But that's 18,000. I'll do that. I'll take that. It's going to get slashed even more. We're going to see 3-4 times the number of people still committing, overcommitted, whatever. It's going to get rough. It's going to get rough. And again, I think we're cut off in just a moment here. Let me see. Looks like it. Okay. I think I'll cut the stream here. Again, if you're in the chat and you want to keep this going, just drop me a quick message in chat right now. Otherwise, I think I'm going to line up a guest to come on and start talking other project launches that are coming up this week. We will do more check-ins on Iris today. They don't have an X account still. Okay, still no X account. Then let me think any final words before we're out. Be on the lookout for more streams. I'll just leave it at that. Guys, appreciate you joining. A major shout out to Delta Sauce. Just what a guy. What a freaking guy. And then, guys, we'll see you, I assume, later on today. So appreciate you joining. Follow me at Hudah_idiot on X and CryptoSlam on X and the Swarm_AI. And goodbye. Peace, fellas.